here's a short guide if you want to speedrun of things that have changed from the demo to the full game. Some things have not changed, like how game time is calculated. If you don't know, there's a fixed time to reach the boss, and it depends on which fast level you're playing the stage at. Fast 9 is 5 minutes, but it's also modified by the timer in the top right. So if you want to go as fast as possible, always pick 3 dashes. This can be modified though by the field cleared bonus. If you defeat all enemies in the wave, this message will pop up, and it can drop the next wave immediately. It doesn't always reduce the time, but it can reduce the total number of turns in the stage. And then time in menus also counts against the run timer. I think this is where actually a majority of people lose time. You can enable manual level ups and skip stat screen from settings/general, since at a certain point you don't need to level up. And time to kill the boss is also included in the run timer, so killing the boss quickly is super important. In general, you just want the minimum build that you can quickly create and not spend a lot of time in the menu. That will both kill the boss quickly and provide you as many field cleared bonuses as possible. If you're spending time in the menu and it's not either giving you a field clear bonus or like significantly reducing the time to kill the boss, it's probably not worth it, at least for going fast. One note that violates these rules is Tactician. Tactician turn progression runs the game faster than the 3 greater than sign speed. So if you can quickly recall the balls, you can reduce the overall time. For controller, you can use B button to recall, and for keyboard, right click. And if you use the matchmaker to pair Tactician with Empty Nester, Spendthrift, or Sisyphus, they'll have the fastest fire plus recall time. And for a lot of them, they have setups that you can just immediately spam fire and recall as fast as possible, and it will clear the stage, because they propagate like with Maggot. What are the bossing setups that can potentially be worth going for? For 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, Hemorrhage applies against the boss and does a percentage of their health. So this can hit like multiple tens of thousands of damage. You can pair this with Sun, Flicker, Flash to hit rapidly, or Voluptuous Exhac and Maggot. It just depends on the specific boss. Some of them will get hit by Sun but not hit by Flash, or hit by Flicker but not hit by Sun. Some of them spawn ads, so Maggot's very good, and some of them don't, so Voluptuous Exhac is better. It really just depends on the boss. You can probably try it out a few times. And another note, I see people sleeping on this a lot, is Glacier scales with both AoE power and status power. So once you have maxed out trophies, it's extremely strong. And you get a number of spikes based on the number of balls you have. So if you can quickly spawn spikes with like Voluptuous Exhac, Maggot, or even base Exhac, Cell, Broodmother, etc., you can do an insane amount of damage, because it scales exponentially. There's some other boss setups as well. It really will depend on where in the game you are, like Nuke X Maggot or Overgrowth with Flash, Flicker, or Sun. It just depends how far in the game you are, which character you're playing, etc. Generally, you just want something that you can make quickly, though, which is why I prefer Hemorrhage or Glacier over, say, some of the other setups that require more investment. And this goes further, consider how much time it takes to even make one of these combos versus how much it will save. For early bosses like the Skeleton King, one, he's both immune to Hemorrhage, and Baby Balls just shred him still. So you may just need to focus on good passives for your particular characters. What are the trophy bonuses? They're a bonus you get clear at each stage once per character, and you get a large bonus. And then for each fast level, you get an additional bonus, but it's much smaller. However, there's 10 total fast stages and 11 per New Game Plus difficulty. So you can get essentially double the bonus if you clear on Fast 9, and then triple the bonus compared to base if you complete NG plus Fast plus 9. So it really adds up, and if you clear Fast plus 9, it will retroactively clear all the stages. It's also not worth doing some of the trophy bonuses on like higher new games. It really depends which strategy you're using for your particular characters. Boneyard's only really good for the Glacier strategy. It's pretty irrelevant for others. Snowy Shores is good if you're using Nuke or Overgrowth or Glacier, but again, if you're just focused on baby balls, it doesn't matter. Quarry Grassland is like pretty much good for every strategy because it increases ball speed. Smoldering Depth is extremely strong for baby balls. I think it's like 80% of my damage right now. And it's also very good for some characters, like Cohabitant's damage penalty doesn't apply to the Smoldering Depths trophy. Vast Void's good for Empty Nester and pretty mediocre for other characters. And then Liminal Desert, Fungal Forest, and Heavenly Gates are more niche. You can probably skip them for the most part. The Infinite Buildings, they do help, but the thing is some stats have built-in diminishing returns. For example, 1 point of leadership when you have very little leadership might get you 1 to 2 additional baby balls with S scaling, but at like 40 it might take like 3 points of leadership to get a single additional baby ball. So they are good for sure, but they're not like the most important. I kind of stopped leveling them at 20 and don't harvest. For sure you can push it further though, and there's better base setups than mine. And the cost also grows exponentially, so getting them super high is quite difficult. I'm sure people will figure out something good for the base, but yeah, for right now I haven't bothered with it much. And the same goes with leveling. There was a big change from the first demo version to the second demo version. Before, there was no level cap, and you always got 3 points per level. Now there's certain breakpoints. I believe it's like level 20 and maybe 35, where instead of getting 3 points per level, you start getting 2 points per level, and then 1 point per level. So once you get like 20 or 30, you've gotten most of the bonuses, and it's not going to make a huge difference. There is an experience multiplier. The higher your stage, it multiplies the number of kills. So playing on stage 8 gives the most experience per enemy. And then there's also an additional multiplier for each New Game Plus difficulty, but not for fast difficulty. The only benefit there is you're just killing the enemies faster, and so getting more XP per time. I haven't really like grinded out levels. I think my highest character is just the Radical from idling while I do other things. This all applies to the leaderboard in the game. Some notes on that. Yes, on PC and Xbox there's a lot of cheating, but you can still get sub 3 times without that, and sub 2 if you're playing Tactician pretty easily once you have at least completed Fast plus 9 on all characters in the base game and have finished all the bases and have like around level 10 infinite buildings. But yeah, just use your brain when you look at the leaderboard stats. If someone is on their very first run and hasn't unlocked Matchmaker and playing on normal, they would have to field clear like 80% to 90% of the wave to get like a 3-minute time. And each field clear bonus increases the difficulty of the wave, so you need more and more damage to do that. So yeah, there's cheats already. They were day 1 cheats, and there's a couple different avenues, so it's hard for the devs to fix it, unfortunately. It's sort of like an endless battle. Like if they fix one way people are cheating, people will modify it or come up with other ways. but you can still go very fast, legitimately. In a lot of cases, beat the cheated times, since they're not playing super seriously. If you did want to go for a fresh save route, it's kind of long, the run, so I haven't had enough time in one sitting to do many. I think sub 3 should be possible if you play perfectly. Right now my time's around 420 and I have the VOD up. But basically, Steam version will be faster than the Switch, PS5, or Xbox version because of False Messiah, who's the Twitch integration character. The general strategy is clear the first stage twice, and make sure you build at least 2 character buildings and save resources so you can do that. And then you want to kind of box them in so you can immediately finish the construction. Once you do have at least 3 total characters, so warrior plus itchy finger plus whichever character building you built, False Messiah will enable the voting option, which lets him bring a second character before you get matchmaker. So then for stage 2 through 4, stage 2 and 3 you only need to clear with False Messiah once, and then 4 has 2 important drops. It drops the matchmaker building and shield bearer, and both are very useful for the speed run. Shield bearer building requires I think 70 stone, and matchmaker is like 200 wheat, 40 wood. So in the runs leading up to that, when you've completed all your levels, you can pick resources when you level up. So you want to focus resources on constructing those buildings as soon as you can get them, and also focus your base building on that. Once you have matchmaker, then you need 2 runs on stage 5 and 6. You need 3 runs on stage 7, and then you only need 1 run on stage 8. So you'll really only want to focus on a low number of characters if you're trying to speedrun the whole game, since you only need 5 for stage 7. Shield Bearer and Tactician can both pretty much clear the whole game without any buildings at level 1. They're that broken. There's some other strong characters and strong duo setups. If you're around level 10, it's not that hard to beat stage 7, and stage 8 is kind of a victory lap. It's significantly easier than stage 8. It can be worth messing with the base though. Some of the buildings are really strong, obviously, and they make the run safer. So depending on what blueprints drop, you may want to construct some of the buildings. It really just depends. As long as you're not cutting into the resources to build the second character building after stage 1, or the matchmaker or shield bearer, it should be fine to construct some additional buildings. Just as long as the time spent like going through the menus is worth it. So for like the super long strategies, like creating a chain of gold mines and spamming them over and over, it might not be worth it. Okay, I'll show some quick runs, just to give an idea of things. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, good luck to anyone who wants to try. And I'll try to get a speedrun.com category. I'm still pending verification. Overall thoughts for categories is full game, and then we'll need to include the game version because Steam version is just faster right now, and then 1 for each stage, and everyone will be able to choose. And then we'll probably split that with Tactician versus other characters because Tactician is faster. And I don't know if you consider that a clever use of game mechanics, the reason he's faster, or a glitch, but it's probably worth having 2 separate leaderboards. But yeah, I'll post some more updates if I get approval. Alright, now to show some runs.